Live from the legendary podcast bus in sunny California, it's America's funniest new podcast.
Oh my God, what are you doing?
We think it's funny. And now, here are your hosts, Mark Schiff and Daniel LaBelle.
All right, welcome to We Think It's Funny with my co-host Danny LaBelle. And today we have a guest, a very funny guy, and it's a pleasure to see him again, Brian Regan.
Hey, guys.
But he's got a beard now. He didn't used to have a beard, and now he does.
I should have forewarned you guys about the
beard,
the unkempt look.
When did this happen?
Took a month off vacation. Decided not to shave, and then when the vacation was over, I've never performed with a beard. So the very first show I was going to do, I was like, I'm going to try one show with a beard and just see what happens. And the show went well, and I had never had a good show before that.
Yes, no, finally, you found the key.
I'm like, there we go. I've got my thing. I've got my little gimmick. So the next night I was going to shave it, and I'm like, well, last night went well. I'll just keep it. It was just a weekend thing. And so that was like about a month and a half ago. So I just have decided not to shave it. It's probably not permanent. It'll probably go at some point.
Do you remember George Carlin's poem about beards?
I don't.
And hair? It's not weird. It's just a beard.
So you got the beard, and you go and do a show. Now, if the next show you did, everyone in the audience had a beard, would you continue on with the beard?
It's a great question.
I mean, you just look out there, and the entire men, women, everyone.
Yeah, I'd be going, I think this is going in a direction I did not intend.
Trendsetter over there.
Yeah. And they're like, we didn't even care about the comedy. We just like the camaraderie.
Yeah.
The beard camaraderie.
Mostly bearded audiences now because they would never come and see him before, but now they feel like, that's our guy.
There was a comedy, not a team because it was 4 different guys, called the Beards of Comedy. Are you familiar with that?
I think I have heard about that.
There were 4 guys that
Zach
toured.
Galifianakis was one of them?
I don't think he was. I could be wrong. Joe Zimmerman was one.
Okay.
And then there were 3 other guys, and that was the only thing they had in common. They did it to be funny, like as if there was some reason that they were touring. So they went around as the Beards of Comedy, and they got a lot of gigs out of it. I don't think they still do it. But,
because of the beard part of it, or
that was the only thing that they had in common. They all had a different style of comedy. They're all funny guys, but they were the Beards of Comedy.
If you grew a beard, Mark, then the 3 of us could maybe make some money.
I used to have a beard.
Yeah.
When I was 18 years old. I was writing. I was a poet in Greenwich Village. I lived in the village.
You really were a poet?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I grew the poet's beard that you had to have.
This is amazing.
I sat at the Figaro Cafe writing poetry.
How has this never come up before?
Do
you have any of these poems still?
I do. I have I had a girlfriend back there for a couple of years, and she sent me a box of all my writing.
Are they good?
I used to have poetry readings in my house. I mean, I was really into it.
I gotta hear these poems.
Yeah, I'll bring them next time.
Do you know any of them by heart?
I don't.
So was this like a career quest? Was this like prior to comedy and you were hoping to maybe make a living as a poet?
No. I wasn't even looking to make a living as a comedian when I started. None of us had any idea. I don't know when you started. It started late 70s. There was no place to go.
Right.
They had the mountains and a couple of these big things for big comedians, but there were no comedy clubs.
So it was just for fun when you first started?
No, we did it because we wanted to be comedians, but we had no idea what will ever be out there. And then they started opening clubs, and we had a career. And we immediately became headliners because we've been doing it a while. When they opened the club, they needed somebody.
Uh-huh.
So it was, but I did the poetry thing.
Man, oh man.
Did you do beat poetry?
Yeah, I wrote rhymes. I used to rhyme a lot.
Did you smoke cigarettes?
I did, and 20 cups of coffee a day.
Amazing.
Drank a lot. Yeah, with the beard.
You're doing the whole thing. A comedian told me that he followed, I don't know if it was a poet, but it was a guy with bongos who didn't do comedy. He did, some type of like just talking with bongos, saying something philosophical. And he said that he had to follow this guy with the bongos, and Reagan was in office at the time, and the guy on the bongos apparently didn't like Reagan, and he closed his set, if you will, by he goes, Reagan, we denounce you. Okay, it's my job to bring up the comedian, so he went straight into transitioning to bring the comic out, who I think is probably the only guy that ever had to follow a denouncement.
I love the sound effect that you had there.
Who's the worst thing or person you ever followed? No, you don't have to give a name, but do you remember when you first started out following some incredibly?
Boy, we've all had a lot of rough gigs. I did a show one time. It wasn't really following somebody, but it was like a fill-in date. So I go do the show, and it doesn't go well. I get off stage, and people came up to me and said, how come you didn't, try to get us to sound like chickens and stuff? And I said, what are you talking about? And they showed me the table tent. It said comedy hypnosis night. So the act that didn't show up was a comedy hypnotist.
Wow.
And they didn't bother telling the audience that, oh, he's not here tonight. We have another guy who doesn't do comedy hypnosis. So I did a whole show with an audience, not knowing why I wasn't bringing them on stage and making them bark. And
I kind of did comedy hypnosis when I started. I would get the audience, everyone to hate me. I would just go into the act.
You're getting sleepy.
Yeah, you're getting sleepy. You want to leave. You don't want to hear any more of what I have to say. That's kind of hypnosis, isn't it?
Sure.
Yeah.
I did it. Yeah.
I followed a guy. We used to go to a place called Folk City in New York, which was an incredible place. Mostly musicians. They had Bob Dylan started there, Peter, Paul, and Mary, Phil Oakes. So they had Hootenanny night, and there'd be 20 acts on, and the audience was comprised of only the acts waiting to go on. Nobody paid to get into the show. And I followed a guy, a one-armed guitar player. So you can imagine what that sounds like.
Yeah.
Just like this. There were no chords, no nothing.
Yeah.
So I went on after him, and what do you think my opening line was?
Rubbing it in that you've got two arms.
Kind of, but not. What's the line?
I don't know.
What about a hand for this guy?
Yeah, hand, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know,
Go ahead.
I had a piano teacher when I was a kid, and in the middle of her being my piano teacher, she got in a car. She hung her arm out the window when she would drive, and a car came the other way and swiped off her arm.
Jeez.
And then she came back to do piano lessons, and she only had one arm.
I'll teach you this part.
Yeah, I can only do
You're on your own for this part.
You can't do the do.
Just the white keys. Just the white keys.
I played a guy.
She married the guitar player with one arm.
Look at that.
Yeah,
It would probably be a very interesting evening of music. I was in a bar one time. There was a guy with one arm shooting pool. There was a pool table in there. I think that would have probably been obvious that there was a pool table in the bar. I'm going to give a lot of unnecessary information in this story. I walk into the bar. They serve drinks, alcohol, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's like a bar there. There's like stools.
Pool table with balls on
There
it.
was a pool table. There was a pool table with balls.
yeah, the balls. You
With
gotta,
balls on
yeah,
there were balls
You
on
know,
the table.
And chalk and stuff.
Chalk, sticks, a rack, felt. So there was a guy with one arm playing pool, and if you play pool, having that second arm is very helpful.
How
to
so?
put that
To
down.
put the stick through the fingers.
Yeah, you put the stick through the. This one hand is guiding the stick, and then the stick is going through this part. You can guide it. He only had one hand. Killed everybody.
Good, he was good.
Oh, he was great.
So that
He
other
would just
arm-
hold the stick over the cue ball, pop it, bang.
So maybe
ball
the
it.
other arm's not helpful. Maybe it's getting in the way of everybody's game.
That could be.
So I used to shoot pool for a living.
As a poet,
Wow.
before when I was 16.
We're finding a lot of things out
And-
about Mark.
I was a big loser. I lost all the. I would steal money from my parents and go shoot pool and lose it and go steal some more and the whole thing. And my parents never actually mentioned to me that they were missing money, which God bless them for, never.
Bringing it
So
up.
anyway, there was a guy named Barry Lewis. He was a great pool player, but he used to challenge people. He would play you with one arm. That's how good he was, and he would beat everybody.
Again, I think the
'Cause he would
second
hold the
arm is
stick.
ruining people's game.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's something to it.
Well, he could rest it on the,
You could do that.
Yeah.
But there were times, at least when I was playing this guy, where the ball is out in the middle of the
Yeah.
table and you can't rest it.
Right.
And that's when this guy would just hold
You're
it
right.
with just hold it near the cue ball. I don't know how he managed to do it, and then he would just
yeah.
he was able to
maybe,
do it.
maybe that's just if you start doing things with one arm, people will be much more impressed than just doing things with two arms.
Yeah.
It sounds
Yeah.
like there's a story to be told if someone does something with one arm, but if you've seen a million people do things with two arms,
Right. Wasn't
we're
there a
not
picture?
talking about them.
Wasn't there,
Right.
wasn't there a baseball pitcher with one arm?
Jim Abbott.
Yeah, he held the glove under his.
Why are we talking about him? One arm.
That's right.
You see?
See, if you have
If
two.
you just maybe tape one of your arms to your body and put your shirt to go through life with one arm, everything you do will be much more impressive to everybody. I remember I worked for Jackie Mason when he was on Broadway at the end, and I remember one time he said to me, he says, something, at my age, people are very impressed just because I can stand up. He goes, you don't have to do anything. If I tell a joke and I happen to be funny, that's even better.
So,
So, one more one-arm
wait,
story.
and then I got a one arm story after you.
Okay.
Let's see if we can fill an hour with one arm.
When I was a kid, I'm at a friend's house. He had a swimming pool in his backyard, and we would play in the pool. And he said, "I'll bet you 50 cents that I can beat you one lap swimming." I was a pretty decent swimmer, so I said, "Okay." So I bet him 50 cents, one lap at a pool, and I beat him. And then he goes, "Double or nothing. But this next time, I'll only swim with one arm." So I'm like, how can I possibly lose this bet?
It's impossible.
My two arms beat your two-arm swimming stroke, and now you're going to use one arm. Sure, I'll do double or nothing. It seemed like a really good bet.
Yeah.
And he beat me.
Wow.
Don't ask me
You
how.
were
I
set up.
remember swimming, looking over at him, and he's just doing this odd one-arm swimming stroke, and he beat me.
You were
Are we
set up.
recording
You were
on the
set up.
A10?
I think so.
Oh, once again, a guy with one arm outperforming the two-arm community.
I am going to, next time I swim, I'm going to try to swim with one arm. So I
I
have
don't
a
even
one
know if
arm
I could
thing.
do it.
What I used to do is, you ever see people who have one arm, they have, a shirt with two sleeves, but they pin it up,
Yeah.
right? You've seen, right? The thing is pinned. So what I used to do is periodically, when I haven't seen people in a couple of years, I would put my back thing down my pants and pin up my arm and wait to see how
they-
long, if they say something.
Yeah.
And I remember one time, Dennis Blair?
Yes.
I met Dennis in Vegas, and I pinned up my arm. I didn't see him in a while. And we went to lunch, and he never mentioned a word or asked me how I lost my arm. It was,
I'm just trying to picture myself in his situation.
Do you say something?
Do you say something? It depends on the person. I think I probably would.
I would. 100%.
you got to.
I think I would. Yeah.
You've got to.
Yeah. Hey, I see your shirt is pinned up. That would be a good end.
Yeah, you don't have to mention,
And
I
then
think
he
you lost an arm. Just,
You just say, "I noticed your shirt is pinned up."
well, where'd you get a
And
shirt
then
like
it's
that?
I noticed it's got a long sleeve and a short sleeve. Tell me about it.
Yeah, where do they sell those?
And then it's up to him to go anywhere he wants with the story.
Right.
You can
right.
weave in
He
and
can
out.
weave in and out. He can.
You've certainly given him options. That's
Did you ever do prank like that or anything?
No.
not a pranker.
I'm not a big prank person. No. I like prank shows. When they do a good one. I don't like hurting somebody's feelings, but when they're done well, they're fun to watch.
Okay.
I did one on, Paul Provenza?
Yes.
Okay, so I used to do these ships, And I got off in the Caribbean somewhere. For the afternoon, you can go. And I was sitting at a coffee place, and and I see Paul Provenza, and he got off another ship. So I say, hey, he sits with me, and we take a picture together. Haven't seen him in a couple of years, and I planned this for years in advance. I took the picture of me and Paul and me, and I made it wallet size, and I put it in my wallet. And next time I see him, I'm going to say, I've been carrying this picture of you and me together for 4 years. And I did it to him. I said, hey, how you been? He goes, great, man. I haven't seen you in years. I go, I just want to tell you, I feel so close to you. I've been carrying this picture of us for years. And I show it to him, and he was stunned.
Right.
I mean, flat out, frozen in this. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't know what to say. I did do one prank. You'd mentioned cruise ships. I was on a cruise ship, just not performing, and there was a family on the cruise ship. There was like a mom and a dad and like 3 kids. And the dad goes into the snack area to get some stuff. And the wife and the kids leave. I don't know if they go back to the, to their room or what. The guy comes out. He doesn't see his family. And I said, oh, they went overboard. They're all dead.
Wow.
Now I see why he doesn't do pranks.
That's why.
I said, they all, a wave got them, and they all went overboard, and they're all dead. And the guy looked at me, and I went,
yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's not a prank. That's just being very cruel to him.
that was funny, because they weren't really.
And he probably didn't like them anyway.
I got that.
If that had really happened to them, I don't think I would have said anything to them.
No, if they actually went overboard. Have you seen my kids? No.
You know my buddy Matty Goldberg, very funny comic.
I do. We had him on.
So, yeah, we had him on, and so we used to be roommates in Brooklyn together. And he had a picture of himself on the computer, and I used to tease him that his big teeth. His teeth are big. I don't see that they're so big. So I got a Photoshop, and every week I would increase the size of his teeth just the tiniest bit on that computer screen. And one day he comes home, he goes, does like a double take. He goes, oh my God, I do.
You see him looking in the mirror.
Wow, I never realized. It's kind of true. You don't really know what you look like, right?
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, it was just because it was such a tiny little fraction of an increase every week. He got used to it.
Sure.
What if you started liking it?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm digging the teeth.
Yeah.
Right.
I used to tell him, I said, if they, I would make all these teeth jokes at him. I said, if they bring back the Colgate Comedy Hour, you could be the biggest star. And you got to have 2 girls dressed as toothbrush and toothpaste, and they come out on either arm like Milton Berle with you. And
Could you go to a dentist and he goes, so what can I do for you? You go, can you make my teeth bigger?
Bigger.
Can you just make it another half an inch?
I'm gonna look like Bugs Bunny.
Just the tops.
I want them to really stand out. I want the teeth to be the prominent focus on my face.
I don't like the bottom and top the same size. I want the...
Well, Mark has mentioned this on the show, so I don't feel bad bringing it up, that he has artificial teeth. Those aren't his real
You can't
teeth.
tell.
Oh. But I would
What do you
think
mean?
it would be
Oh.
fun.
Well, I don't know the
You looked at
appropriate.
me, you just
I don't know
stared.
the appropriate response.
He just stared at me like, oh.
Wouldn't it be great if he just got up and left? Well,
I don't need to put up with this. I've been talking to a guy with fake teeth. You got to be kidding me. Now that's a horrible prank.
Yeah.
What else is fake around here?
Yeah.
I bet you he's not even sitting there.
He's really 120 pounds.
It's true.
That's a big gag. Well, I have veneers.
Bust.
But
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what you mean.
No, it's not what I mean.
Well,
No.
I have none of my real teeth.
oh.
Wait.
Are veneers real teeth? Your teeth?
No, the real teeth are underneath, and then they put like a facade on front, if you will.
What Mark has got is cardboard.
Yeah. Wow, yeah. It's very inexpensive.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
Tell me about this dentist.
I said to my dentist, I've been going to him for 25 years. And I said to him, when I came to see you in the beginning, I had a full set of teeth. You're so good, I have none now.
How do you do it? How do you do it, doctor?
How do you work on such a low? So what were wrong with the originals?
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah.
One was chipped. They just didn't look great. You know what I mean? And you go to a dentist, and he's like, we can just kind of like put fake teeth out in the front. I don't know why I'm fumbling over this. I feel like this is a 60 Minutes interview, and you're asking me about my a fund that you just found, and I can't explain it.
We're going to bring a dentist in here now. I didn't really do it.
Well, we're going to bring in your dentist right now, and then I'm going to be red-handed.
It's shaved. One of them was chipped a little. It didn't look fantastic.
Just to make them look better. I mean, that's kind of the deal.
What's the
does it,
process?
right?
Because I've heard about veneers.
They take your real teeth and file them down a little bit, and then they use that as the post, if you will, and then they put
So
veneers.
they're nubs, right?
Well, they're not quite that small, but if the veneers were to come off and you were to see what they filed them down to, I would look absolutely ridiculous. It would look like a little picket fence kind of thing.
So you would wish you had the originals back at that point.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you can't take your teeth out anytime you like.
No.
But Mark can.
Yeah. Do the veneers come off ever?
No.
Like once a year they take them?
No, they're
on.
supposed to be forever.
So what I was going to tell you is, wouldn't it be great if you had different teeth for different occasions?
Different color teeth?
Yeah, just
Like
like
yellow when I'm-
or a holiday-themed teeth.
Yellow teeth when I go to a smoking bar?
I don't know how many different options one would need in life.
You could have sharp ones for Halloween or something. You could have light-up teeth for when he goes out to the clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could.
I think there's a business here for people like you.
I can do all those things without actually spending another $14,000 on, different sets.
How could you do all those things?
Jerry Lewis did it. He attached things onto his regular teeth.
He had a big budget.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Was it a lot of money, veneers? Mine I was in for almost $28,000.
Well, my dentist said I've got two versions. I've got the cardboard version.
Yeah, wow.
And I went, tell me more.
Yeah.
Do you have another version? So, yeah, they're not inexpensive.
Yeah, it cost.
When I first had them, I didn't even realize this. I actually had price tags hanging from
Wow.
them for like a week. Like no one had told me.
No one told
I had these little price tags.
Like on baseball
and just
hats.
like the pin-up shirt, like no one said anything.
Yeah.
Not a word.
And I'd come back from events, and then I'd be like, wait a second, I got like little price tags on all my
That's
teeth.
why you have to floss.
Yeah.
If you don't floss,
Then you catch stuff like that.
right? Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Do you
people-
floss the fake teeth?
One. All the way in the back, there's a little thing. But I go 3 times a year for cleanings.
You have to show up, or you could just mail them in.
No, they have to clean the implants
Why do you have to be there?
because the implants are attached to my bone.
Oh.
It's completely attached. By the way,
Call my dentist.
I'm
I
sorry.
need a teeth cleaning. Do I need to be there?
Can you do it
Well,
without me?
it helps if you show up.
Can I just drop? Can I send my wife over with the teeth and we'll pick them up?
How do
You have
they,
a drive-through, and you can just put them in a bag after you clean them up and hand them to me.
how do they attach? Are they magnetic?
Snaps.
Snaps?
Like a snap on the pants.
Yeah.
Like they're snapped in.
No magnets?
No magnets at all. And there were 2 options on this. There was one that is screwed in permanently, and then they take it out twice a year to clean it, or these come out whenever I want.
And you wanted the Mr. Potato Head version? You could just take them. Why did you want to be able to take them out whenever you want?
It was $25,000 cheaper.
I thought you were just going to say $25 cheaper.
That would have been funnier. $25 cheaper.
Wow.
Yeah. But to my, I have grandkids, and I've never done it in front of them like most old grandfathers used to do. they used to take their teeth out and tease to show the kids and discuss.
Horrify the children.
Just horrified. I've never done that.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
Good grandpa.
Skills.
Would you
Skills.
be buried with them, or would you not be buried?
No, I will be.
You do want to be buried with them?
Yeah. And the extra sets.
There's extra sets?
You want those in the breast pocket of the jacket.
People get buried with weird stuff, don't they?
Would you really? I'm curious. Would you be buried with the fake teeth?
So it doesn't really matter to me, but in the Jewish religion, when you die, there's no open casket.
Mm-hmm.
It's closed, and they're done with you. They don't want to see you. They don't want to hear from you anymore, right?
Yes.
So I don't really need them. If it was an open thing, then you probably want them in because otherwise your whole head sinks in.
Can I have them? Assuming
I can put it in the
outlive you?
will. I can put it in the
Yeah.
will.
Bequeath your teeth to Danny.
I'd like to have them. It's like a little piece of mark, and it's probably worth something if somebody wants to buy them secondhand.
$25,000.
I mean, I just have to find someone who needs teeth
I
with
know
the
a
same
guy.
mouth shape.
I know a guy that can actually fix them and make them into one of those wind-up things that run across the table. One of those. Remember those?
Can you resell them? Are they resellable?
No. They're made specifically to fit my head. Nobody else's head is the same size. Like snowflakes. There's no two alike.
I remember the first time I saw a snowflake where I saw it. I was on a plane, a window. I'm in the window seat. I look, and it was starting to snow outside, and a snowflake hit the window. I thought, those little shapes were like microscopic. I didn't know the human eye could see them. Mm-hmm. And I looked at the window, and I could see like that weird shape that you see.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy Toledo. I didn't. I thought you had to have a microscope to see that stuff.
That's because you grew up in Florida.
Right.
Right?
Yes. I grew up in Miami, Florida.
So you never saw a snowflake?
No.
No, right. So how old were you?
I was, early 20s, I guess.
Before you saw snow?
Well, we went on vacation up north and saw snow, but I never saw the microscopic version of it. Or I'm countering myself. The size that's a little bit bigger than microscopic.
Yeah.
And your father
I'm not good at
was
explaining things.
Your father was a door-to-door salesman who sold vacuum cleaners? Mm-mm. No? Anyway, so that's a good story.
Did you think that was true? Vacuum
I
cleaner?
just threw it out there.
Oh, I
you never
see.
know.
You just guessed.
Yeah, it's a good guess.
Well, no. My dad worked for Eastern Airlines. He was an accountant, and Eastern Airlines went bankrupt.
Yeah, I saw that.
Is that
yeah.
when he got into the vacuum?
And then he worked for Pan Am. And they went down, and then TWA.
And then he moved over to Braniff,
TWA.
and then People's Express.
Right. Finally, the
He was an
industry caught
accountant
on.
for about 20 different airlines. You never heard from anymore. But we lived in a mansion.
Imagine him going to apply for a job. So where have you worked? And he lists 10 airlines that are all out of business now. Did you hire this guy?
To sell vacuum cleaners, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
I worked one time in a summer. I was in college, and one summer I worked at Eastern Airlines. He got me a job as a clerk, and he drove to work with another guy who worked for Eastern, who was higher up on the, hierarchy than my dad. And we would drive all together to Eastern and drive back. And then one day, my dad and I are in the car, and the other guy was a little bit late. And the guy gets in the car and goes, "Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. We were trying to find a missing $1 million." And he goes, "Yeah, there was some kind of accounting glitch, but we found the million. So, all right, let's head home." And I remember, I was a little kid, you misplaced $1 million.
Wow.
And you fixed it in 15 minutes. It was just so
Mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were a clerk. People would come and buy a ticket from you?
No. This was, for lack of a better, I just worked at the office where my dad worked, and they would just set me with people who would give me assignments. And
Wow.
I remember one of the assignments was they gave me a stack of papers that were all paper clipped, not paper clipped, stapled. And they said, just take all the staples out of these
Right.
papers, a stack like this high. Mm-hmm. And I was always taught to work hard and fast. And, I did it in about 15 minutes and went back to the guy and said, okay, that's done. And the guy was like, oh, okay, well. And then he had to brainstorm for something else for me to do. And I told my dad that at lunch, and he goes, son, I know I've always taught you to work hard, but you can tap the brakes a little bit with this clerk job. If somebody tells you to take staples out, take your time with it, you know?
This has reminded me. I worked at a pizzeria one summer in Long Island, and I was in charge of rolling mozzarella sticks. You take the pieces of cheese, you dip them in egg, dip them in breading, and you roll them with your hand. So, again, I worked hard and fast. I got a ton of mozzarella sticks done.
Right.
I got pulled into the dark back room by the other workers at the pizzeria, and they said, how many sticks did you roll? I said, I don't know, 60 in an hour? I said, yeah. They're like, look at this guy, Mr. Mozzarella Factory over here. I said, what? They go, you're making everybody look bad. We take our time with the rolling.
Right.
That's a whole day's work. I said, that's a whole day's work? They're like, you hide those sticks. Nobody knows you did those.
Well, same idea, I guess. I mean, it's counterintuitive. You would think people should always work hard and fast, but I guess there are times when it doesn't seem appropriate.
Right.
Especially at the post office.
Yeah. Nobody.
I'm like one of the Three Stooges. When I'm at the post office, I'm forever going, just smacking my head as, they just creep along.
Do you do a little flirtation with the post office worker when you get up there? I always do it. Not a sexual flirtation, but just try to
overly
get
nice.
them to win them over because they're always so hostile when you get there. And, I try to, I always go, whatever, if they're wearing a brooch, I'll say, what a beautiful brooch. You always go for the brooch.
Right.
And,
I was at a post office, big long line, 4 or 5 people at the counter, you take the person that opens up, right? So it's finally my turn. I walk over to this woman, and she goes, excuse me. And she walks into the back room, and I never saw her again.
Right.
I swear.
Yeah.
Never saw her again. So after about 10 minutes, I'm like, do I get back in line? I should be automatically next if something else opens up.
Right.
Well, you might have used your spot by actually talking to someone. Yeah. Right. I've had that at the post office where they have a package for me and they go, I got to go in the back. Mm-hmm. Something happens to them in the back.
I want to go back there.
Yeah. And it looks like there's not much back there because there's just that thing and a little entrance in, but they don't come out.
There's a portal to Narnia back there.
Yeah.
They just go away into another dimension.
Yeah. And then when they come out, they never mention how long they've been gone. Mm-hmm. They go, no,
Right.
I'm sorry, it's been 2 hours. They never mention.
Some acknowledgement of the time elapsation.
Yeah. You'd say to them, I didn't have a beard when I got here.
Right.
And now look at me.
I was new to New York City, starting to catch on, and everything should move kind of quickly, right? There's people behind you. Try to get your stuff done quickly. I'm on the road, and I'm living in New York, but I'm on the road in Nashville. I have to go to a post office. And it's a short line. It's me and just one woman in front of me and just one woman behind the counter, an older lady behind the counter. I'm like, this will be quick. So she calls the woman up, and the woman says, I just need some stamps. And I'm like, this is going to take 30 seconds.
You're out of here. You're out of here.
It's going to take 30 seconds. So the old lady behind the counter goes, well, we've got some terrific new holiday stamps that have come in. Let me show them to you. Uh-oh. So she reaches under the counter and pulls up 100 different types of stamps. This one has a Christmas tree. This one has a Santa Claus. And this one has a sleigh. Like, it described all of them, and she just reviewed every stamp. I was going out of my mind. Like, just pick something.
I'll buy you the stamps. Just go. So I had robbed.
Pick the snowman. The snowman.
That's
and
it.
I buy.
Put it on my account.
Stamps for everybody.
So I had robbed the post office at one time, many years ago.
When you were a poet?
No.
Man.
So I was.
You need to write a book. You have so many
I was in San Antonio with another comic, and we were working in a club, and we used to send postcards. Did you ever do that when you first started on the road, sending postcards to people?
Way back in the day, yes.
Yeah, way back
By
in
the
the
way,
day.
Brian, you notice how the stories get progressively worse? Like, the first one was kind of innocent with the poetry. Then he's stealing money for pool from his parents. Now he robbed the place.
So let me tell you what
The
happened.
next one's murder.
Murder.
Let me tell you about when I shanked my cellmate.
After forcing him to have sex with me. As he was having sex with me, I slit his throat.
Anything like that ever happened to you?
You can all
Everything you think you knew about him. Those aren't even his teeth.
identify with this.
I pulled my teeth out. I slit his throat with them.
So I said to my friend, Billy, let's go to the post office. I need some stamps and, to send the postcards. So they got the stamp machine outside.
Yeah.
Stamp machine. So it was like 6 cents or something for stamps. Put a quarter in, turn the thing, and out comes about 20 cents worth of stamps. And I take it, and another 20 cents comes out, and I take that, and one more time. So I say, look at this.
Right.
So I said, give me a quarter. We put another quarter in, 20 come out, 20 more, and we stood there for an hour and a half, cleaned out the machine of penny stamps.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
I had a situation one time. I'm young. I go into Kentucky Fried Chicken, and there's nobody at the counter. Everybody's in the back. And there's cash on the counter, like $35 or something, just laid out. So I'm like, I just saw this opportunity. So I grabbed the cash, and I'm holding it. Like, I don't even know what I'm thinking. Like, I should just leave with the cash,
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not a big criminal. Like,
You're a criminal, but not a big one.
I'm not a big criminal. If I was a big criminal, I would have left right when I grabbed the cash. I'm a bad criminal, so I just stood there with
If he was
it.
a big criminal, he'd be
That's a
working at
bad
the
one.
airlines making $1 million.
Right. So I'm just standing there with the cash thinking, should I leave? Should I put it in my pocket? And then the manager comes back around from the counter and goes, where's the money that was on the counter? And I just said, oh, I was keeping it safe for you. I saw it on the counter, so I figured it would be a lot safer in my hand and close to my pocket than leaving it on the counter.
Yeah.
So I think he knew that I was on the verge of stealing
You were
it.
debating
but
it.
I did. I was debating it.
You had the wallet in one hand and the 35 in the other hand. And they were,
I know this will fit in there.
yeah, the devil and the angel. Just, how do we do this?
When I was a little kid, I was in a Walgreens, and I'm in the toy aisle, and they have those caps for guns, you put the little thing and bang, 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 cap, cap, cap. And they're small. And I was with my brother, Dennis. You guys probably know him, another stand-up comedian, but we're little kids. And I grabbed this little thing of caps, and I'm like, wow, this could just go right in my pocket. I don't know why my brain worked that way. And I put it in my pocket, and I just hear, young man. And I turn, and there's the store manager standing at the end of the aisle. And he goes, something tells me you want to take what's in your pocket and put it back.
Wow.
And I'm like, I like the way you think. So I took it out and put it back. And I always wonder, like, if that was the pivotal moment in my life. Like, if he hadn't caught me, would I have gone
You got lucky.
the whole crime route, and been like you,
Yeah,
stealing.
exactly.
robbing post offices and stuff?
I had a similar kind of thing happen when I was a kid. I stayed over at my friend's house for the weekend, and they had a little portable television. I'd never seen anything like this before. And I said, where'd you get this? They said, well, someone came over our house for the weekend, like you, but they brought it, and they left it here. And then we called them, and we told them, you left your portable TV, and they said, just keep it. So I thought, as a kid, let me take this TV home with me. Then I'll call them, and I'll say, I think I accidentally took the TV, and they'll say, just keep it. So that was my plan. So I packed it in my bag, and I'm waiting for my parents to come pick me up, and his mom says, where's that portable TV? I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. She goes, everyone help me look for it. So we're all looking, and I'm pretending to look for something that I know is in the bag. And every second, I just feel so guilty and horrible. And then she says, do you have it? I said, I don't think I would have it. What do you mean I have it?
I'll take a look.
So she goes, well, open your bag. So I opened the bag.
There it is.
And I know it's like at the bottom, and I'm like pulling things out one at a time. I'm like, well, it's not this. You know? Well, what's this? This is my underwear. That's not a TV. And I finally had to get to it, and I go, oh, well, here it is.
Unbelievable.
That's crazy that it's in there.
I was just so embarrassed, and by the way, I 100% was going to call them and tell them that I had it, but still was dishonest because I was going to pretend it was an accident. They never said anything to my parents, and I was like, anytime I ever saw them from then on till to this day, if I see them, I always feel like I'm a criminal amongst them. You know, like when I see them, I'm like, oh, they know about my past. The TV
Even
heist.
if you had, like, you had taken the TV, how would that have been an accident? Like,
Yeah.
Like, are they going to go, oh, we get it, you accidentally took a television
Right. Well,
You
I was a
accidentally-
moron.
from our home to your home?
You accidentally unplugged it.
Right.
Accidents do happen.
No, it was a portable.
It
was
can happen to anybody.
Yeah. I was just packing my stuff, and the TV was in there, and
Just got all caught up. You know how that goes.
My socks were stuck to it, and I just threw the whole thing in there.
But in my very stupid child brain, I just thought, this is the way you get one of these TVs. Someone has it, then you wind up with it, and they just say, you keep it. And then the next person, you keep it. As soon as they told me that's how it happened, I
You ever
thought,
lie
all
to your
right.
parents, and you know that they know you're lying, but they don't spot you for it?
I was a pretty honest kid, but I skipped a mass one time. I was supposed to go to mass, and I rode my bike around for an hour, and then I went home, and my dad goes, how was mass? And I went, mass was good. And he goes, what was the sermon about? And I said, it was about like being good and stuff.
Wow.
Somehow that convinced him. I don't think it convinced him.
No.
He was up there like, wow, you should be good. It was a great sermon. So
Yeah.
I decided to be good because of it.
Yeah.
I think when you got caught, it might have, not that you would have been a big crook anyway. I doubt that.
It seems like he was caught no matter what he ever did.
Well,
Never gotten away with anything in his life.
That's right. I'm 0 for 2 on stealing.
Yeah.
I once asked my parents to get me a parakeet, and they wouldn't do it. They said, we don't want to get a bird, I said, but I like birds.
I know.
So they wouldn't do it. And I used to go every Saturday. My mother would get her hair done every Saturday at a beauty parlor. And I would go with her. I was like 7, 8 years old. And that's my first job I ever had. I would ask the ladies in the beauty parlor if they wanted coffee. And I would go next door to the coffee shop, get their orders, and they would tip me. Mm-hmm. So I would make like $2. So I went to Woolworths, and they had parakeets. And I stuck my hand in the cage, and I put one in my pocket. I put the parakeet in my pocket. And I went back to Woolworths. I went back to my mother, and I said, you never believe what I found. And she said, what? I said, a parakeet.
It was right next to this television.
And she said,
Yeah.
you found a parakeet. Really?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
It's exactly the color I wanted.
Unbelievable. Look how beautiful it is. I just found
God
it.
is good. God is good. And I had a parakeet for 11 years.
That she let you get away with it?
Yep. She never, she didn't say,
Hold on, Mom. I'm about to go find a cage and bird food.
yeah. I'll be right back. I think I know where there's a cage somebody left in the street.
I told you the story of how I got the bird in the house, right? Did I ever tell you that?
How you got him in the house?
No, how the bird that I have in the house.
Yeah, I
I have
know.
a little cockatiel in the house. I was at my rabbi's house during the pandemic, and we were outside in the back, and his kids were screaming in the house. So I went in to see what was going on, and they're all swatting at this thing flying around because they were terrified. They didn't know what it was. It was this cockatiel. So I climbed up on the couch, and it had gone to hide on top of the bookshelf, and it was so happy, like it came to me, like, save me from these kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I had this cockatiel, and I said, okay, it had a big gash under its wing. I'm going to try and speed the story up because there's a lot of it.
He had one wing. He was a guitar player.
But anyway, listen.
The bird had one wing pinned up.
Yeah. He would bet other birds he could fly faster than them, even though he only had one wing.
I thought this got to be somebody's. It's got to be somebody's pet. So I go on Nextdoor and I'm seeing if anybody's posting about it. Anyway, very quick, the things that it was chased by a hawk. Someone had pictures that a hawk was chasing this bird and took pictures and posted them on Nextdoor. I said, "That's the bird. That's how he got the gash."
That's great.
We're back.
We're back.
Awesome.
So let's change gears a little. I want to talk about Loudermilk. There you go.
Wow, that's a good
You
gear
back
change.
there?
Yeah.
I'm here.
I want to talk about Loudermilk.
Aha. Well, Loudermilk is a TV series. 3 seasons are out.
Seen them all.
Oh,
Before they were on Netflix. They went to Netflix.
Correct.
From Showtime? No, where?
they were originally on the Audience Network. That network went away. They moved to Amazon Prime.
That's where I saw it.
And then they've since gone to Netflix from Amazon Prime at the beginning of this last year.
Now you're only in the 3rd season?
I'm in all 3 seasons.
All 3.
Yeah.
Why am I...
Because they didn't give my character a lot to do in season 1. I was thrilled to be on the show.
Tell us how it happened, how you got that show.
Peter Farrelly, who is a co-creator of Loudermilk, saw me perform at a comedy festival in Jamestown, the I Love Lucy Comedy Festival.
I've been there
at the
to the
National
museum,
Comedy
and I've
Center?
been
Right.
to the Lucy Desi Museum
Correct.
and the Comedy Museum.
Wow.
Lucy
Yeah.
Desi is beautiful, and I went to the cemetery where she's buried.
I didn't do that, but I would have liked to have done that.
It's nice.
I've
So-
been to that comedy museum, and I'm completely convinced that it's some kind of a tax front or something. I don't know. There's nobody in Jamestown. You ever notice?
They
I went
do
there; it
go.
was totally empty. It's the most beautiful place I've ever been in my life.
Yeah,
And
the museum is something.
it's
It really is.
incredible, that museum.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Well,
So
we saw
I was
you.
performing there. Peter Farrelly, Jackie Flynn, comedian, is
He's
a
on
good
the
friend
show.
of Peter Farrelly. He is also on the show. He said to Peter Farrelly, "Hey, you should check out this Brian Regan guy." Peter Farrelly didn't know who I was. Watched my show. He came backstage after the show. He liked what I did and said that he's working on a new show called Loudermilk and wanted to know if I'd be interested in being in it. And I said, "I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if I know how to act, And he goes, "Well, I know you know how." He goes, "I know you know how to act." And I'm like, "Well, how do you know that?" He goes, "Well, I just watched your set." He goes, "You do a lot of vignettes and things in your act, so that's acting." And he goes, "If you have a director that can get that out of you, you'll be good." So he ended up giving me a role named. My role is Muggsy in Loudermilk, and the first season I was like really nervous about the whole acting thing.
Sure.
And after a while, I remember like a week into taping, he came up to me after a take and said, "I don't want you worrying about the words on the paper." He goes, "Just as long as you convey what the message is, that's all I'm looking for." He goes, I know you're a funny guy, so just say it however it feels natural to you." So I ad-libbed something in the next scene, and it got a big laugh. And that completely changed my approach from that point on. I was like, "Oh, wow, he's giving me some green light."
Who did you get a big laugh from? You didn't have a live studio audience.
From the crew.
The crew, okay.
The crew on
Yeah,
the set. I
okay,
could
yeah.
hear
Yeah.
the directors and
Okay.
everybody over there like laughing. And he's like, "Yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about." So from then on, I felt looser and I felt better. And then, so when season 2 came out, they gave my character a lot more to do. And then in season 3, they gave my character a lot of really heavy emotional stuff. And
Yeah, and when I saw you do that, I was floored.
well,
And
thank you.
somebody, was it Farley that said it was the best acting that year on television?
I was very honored to have the opportunity.
So did you ad-lib that scene, or was that written about you? You hadn't seen your daughter or your kid or something? Wasn't that what the scene was about?
Yeah, there were. My character has a bunch of kids. My character's an alcoholic, and so we're all in this group therapy thing.
Like
So-
an AA meeting.
Correct. So that's the premise of the show. But then we go outside of there, and you see everybody's home lives. and my character is just a mess. He can't get his life together. And in season 1, I go see a daughter that I hadn't seen since she was like a little girl. She works at a homeless shelter. And then in season 3, I reconnect with another one of my daughters.
Right.
And I don't want to give away what happens, but I kind of go off the rails.
Yeah, you do, and you're crying.
Yeah.
I mean,
I got to check this out.
Where
Sounds
did,
like a good show.
how'd you do that? I mean, how'd you do that scene? It was so moving. In fact,
Thank you.
Brian, don't tell him. He's gonna just do it himself.
No, you were all welled up, and
Yeah, well, thank you. I don't know. I mean, I just had to make it be real in my head. It had to, I had to feel like this is, I don't know how to act, but I've kind of figured it out a little bit along the way. I just realized it has to be me. It can't be me pretending to be somebody else. I have to feel like this is actually happening to me. And for whatever reason, it seemed to play.
That makes a lot of sense.
did probably, and I think it was Malcolm McDowell, the great actor, Malcolm McDowell with Clockwork Orange and a million other movies, got TV. He thought the two best comedy, dramatic actors ever. One was Jackie Gleason in The Hustler, that performance, which was through the roof. And why am I forgetting?
Wow.
Yeah. Somebody else, I can't think, but live performers who, comedians. Who,
I like Robin Williams in
Vietnam.
his more serious roles. I mean, he's obviously great as a stand-up and the funny
Poet
roles.
Society.
Yeah. When he's playing just a real natural person, I really
Because he uses that deep, that very serious kind of,
yeah, and
almost
it's
an
like
English accent, and it kind of like,
Well, he studied Shakespeare. He's,
but like when he gets serious, he almost sounds like an English actor, almost, right? Like
he's very good as an actor, and I particularly enjoy the non-comedic stuff because obviously I know all his comedy, but it's interesting to see a different side.
I guess what I'm trying to say is there's something about when he gets serious that's very, very has a lot of gravitas to it. Is that the way you'd put it? Like
Yeah,
it
works.
Yeah, he does seem Shakespearean almost. Like he's very theater in those movies. He's very, and you don't see that from like a lot of actors. But he does bring almost like a theatrical, like stage stage acting to it almost.
Well, one thing that was interesting for me in season 1, they shot all 10. Each season is 10 episodes, and they would shoot each season like a movie. You didn't just shoot an episode and then the next episode. They took all 10 and then just whatever was best, scheduling wise. So sometimes you'd shoot a scene at a scene from episode 4, and then that afternoon you're shooting a scene from episode 1. You know what I mean? So you had to get into, all right, where is my character at this moment in time? So I remember one time asking Peter Farrelly before a scene something to the effect of, does my character believe what he's saying in this scene? And the whole 10 episodes is called the Bible. They just call it the Bible,
Sure.
meaning I didn't know that. So I said, does my character believe what he's saying in this scene? And he goes, did you read the Bible? And I'm like, well, it's been a while.
I was out bike riding.
The speech it was a good speech. He talked about goodness
It's about being good, right? The whole Bible is about being good and stuff.
and smiting. There's a lot of the smiting part. I read a lot.
I know there's a lot of there's a lot of stuff that thou shall not do. So he said, if it helps if you know the Bible. And I'm like, wow, I'd rather you just tell me if I believe this or not. I don't have time to read the Bible
It's a long slide.
while you're setting up the lights.
So everybody's he's got Leviticus open. He's got
Where in this Bible am I going to find out if I believe this?
And then he goes, I get it now. It's the story of Jonah.
Here it is. Luke 16. This is it.
Aha. So
He's running from his responsibilities, but really You should have gone to Nineveh. There you go.
As long as that's in my head. So that was.
He comes back. He's the best actor ever. Think of what happened. I read the Bible.
I read the Bible.
So they said they might do another. They keep talking about a possibility. Is it going to happen? You think?
We're hoping.
By the way, there was it a senator or a congressman named Loudermilk?
Yes, I mean there's no association with it, but yeah, there is a famous politician with the same
named
name.
Loudermilk, right?
But the character Loudermilk is played by Ron Livingston, and he's fantastic.
Fantastic actor.
He is so. Talk about learning how to act. I just watched this guy take after take. Every single thing he did was believable. Every take was believable.
Go to Brian Regan's acting school. I'm sorry, I'm still thinking of it. It's like, all right, so now I'm going to get you guys really deep. We're going to go into the Quran.
Yeah.
You're teaching acting the first day. Boys and girls, you got to read the Bible. You know who had a lot of those
Very
Bibles?
interesting
It was
technique.
George Slaughter.
Yeah.
Because he had all those
I
up
remember.
there.
Yeah,
Each
yeah.
year was its own Bible.
Yeah.
We had George Slaughter on the thing.
So you understand
Yeah.
the concept of
I
it.
do.
You know, I didn't know that at the time. In season 1, the very first scene that I shot, I was very, very nervous. I showed up that morning. I mean, I got there the night before, but that morning I'm going to this set, and it's the scene where I'm supposed to see my daughter, who I haven't seen in a while. I haven't shot anything. I don't know anything about acting. I did a small role in that Chris Rock movie. That's the only other acting I'd ever really done. So I show up, and I'm nervous as heck, and it's supposed to be that she works in a homeless shelter, and Ron Loudermilk and another character, Claire, come with me to support me as I try to rekindle my relationship with my daughter. Well, I show up at this place, and there's all these homeless people around, and I didn't know if they were actual homeless people or actors.
Wow.
You know, I'm like, is this like a real homeless shelter? And they're just, and only the woman who's playing my daughter is an actor? So I had no idea. I'm seeing all these people. I'm like, they look homeless to me. And there was all this food set up over in the corner. And I was hungry, and I'm like, is that food for homeless people?
Should I be eating the
Am I
homeless
allowed to
people's
eat that food? So I never touched it because I didn't want to take
food out of the mouth of the homeless?
That's right. So I didn't know until the whole scene was over, you know, when they go, all right, cut, and everybody's like, ah, and then everybody's acting different, and I'm like, wait, I thought you were all homeless people.
Are those real police officers on this? I better behave
Maybe
myself.
that's why the scene played real, because I thought it was real.
It's just, he really thinks everybody in the film is real.
Yeah.
That's his acting.
It's because
technique.
I'm really stupid, and that's why I
Reading the
can...
Bible. Trying to figure it out. It's completely clueless to acting for the
Yeah.
entire
I'm like, I thought the whole thing happened.
It's almost like Peter Sellers being there. You ever seen that
I
movie?
did, yeah.
Great
Yeah.
movie.
I'm surprised you didn't hire a priest as a coach. You come into set bar, he sees you come in with a man and a big cross around his neck. He said, going to teach me the Bible. I don't have time to go through it myself.
He becomes more and more religious as the season goes on. He's trying to impress
Start
the
wearing
director.
robes on the set.
He's got the beads in his hand and his smoke.
I'm like praying before you see
Brian, you really been
You go to
taking
the
my
trolley
advice.
with some water and just throw it on him.
You look like you were sweating in that scene. No, that was holy water.
Yeah, it was a terrific show,
Thank you.
and I hope you do more acting.
Well, I
because-
appreciate it. I really enjoyed it. It's you know, kind of obvious, but as a stand-up, you write the words yourself, so you know what they are as you say them on stage. It's really interesting to watch words, to read words that somebody else wrote, and go, all right, how do I do this? And I love the opportunity, and I was very happy that it seemed to work out okay.
People always say that to stand-up, so like, I'd like to see you do more acting.
Yeah,
Like, you know,
Like we don't.
but not other arts. Like, nobody ever tells a comic, I'd like to see you get into culinary a little
Yeah.
bit, you know?
I have some bits that I know when I get to them, they require some acting. And when I'm up on stage, I realize I've got to arc myself differently than I do just delivering lines. You have that too, I'm sure.
Yes.
Like your OCD bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a lot of acting in there.
Right. Yeah, you're. It's like situations. You know, the comedy. A lot of the comedy is talking about situations, and so for it to work, you have to live out the situation.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a situation comedy moments in a stand-up set.
Do you sit down and write?
No, I'm not that good at that.
Stand up's all right. What do? You come up with ideas and
Something will just hit me.
then you just bring it to the stage?
Well, I don't sit down at a blank piece of paper and write. I don't know how to do it.
It really has words on it when you sit down the paper.
Somebody else writes it
Yeah,
for
I
me.
see. They hand you a thing with words.
And then a priest comes in
Right.
and tells me
Commodus
how to say
vobiscus.
it.
Commodus vobiscus accumbasubius.
So the original ideas comedically are always, you know, I don't know how they happen. You
Percolating,
just think
right.
of it.
And
You,
then-
you see something, you go, hey, I wonder if that could be a bit. Then once you have the idea, then I'll
Then you write.
Then I'll write it out. So I'll have a beginning, middle, and an end. And then I tape every show, and then I'll go on stage and say it. And then sometimes when you're on stage, your brain, I love how the brain works. Like it cuts right through a lot of the nonsense and knows how to get to the quick.
Right.
I think writing, people tend to be clever, but not necessarily funny. You know, when you're writing, it's like, oh, I'm very clever. But it's a lot of extraneous stuff that isn't necessary for the joke. And then when you're on stage, in the heat of the moment with an audience there's something inside that goes, say this now, get to this right now. And sometimes it helps you, bang, tighten things up.
Yeah.
So you got the idea, then you sit down, you make the notes, begin, middle, and end, then you memorize, you rehearse
Yeah.
it. You do.
Well, yeah, in the head, in my head, I'll go through it and go, okay, I have it down enough where I can give it a shot on stage.
It's amazing
You
because
do
the
it to
stage.
really big crowds, or
Yeah.
do you do it at the clubs?
No, I don't really do comedy clubs that much anymore. It's just theaters, and I've just learned to sneak them in there.
Can I ask you a question? When you play a theater, they always have the concessions, you know, the stands where they sell the sodas and peanuts. Do you have to pay for it because you're the guy? Or can you just walk up to them and say, hey, they're all here to see me?
I don't want to. This is going to sound like I'm bragging, but I get like a free soda every show.
Get
I
out
get
of
like a
here.
free soda
In the back?
in the back.
But not
waiting
from
for
the
you?
front. I mean, can you go up to those guys, you know, where they have the expensive glasses of wine and be like, just give me one?
I've never been out there.
You've never been out there, huh?
See,
It's
when
should
I
kind
get
of
a
weird
dis-
going
a
out there and
disguise.
standing in line.
Aren't you supposed to be on stage in 10 minutes?
Yeah, but I want to get some M&Ms and a
Some
Coke.
chuckles.
Maybe if you wear a hood.
So you get it for free? You get the free
Yeah.
Coke in the back or
Yeah, I
whatever?
get a
Pretty
free. I get a free soft
See,
drink.
when I work with Jerry, he every time I grab something, he makes a little note. He makes a little pad.
You get like an invoice, like after the fact.
After like every 3 gigs, I get a little thing with $40 or something.
Jerry knows you well enough that he knows he can't trust you. A guy who steals parakeets and puts them in his pockets. You got to keep an
Right.
eye on a guy like that, you know.
What do you
One
ask-
time I did a college gig. I do a college gig, and I'm there in the afternoon for the sound check. And my tour manager at the time, Robin Tate, really great
Yes,
tour
yes.
manager. He's backstage with me, and there's a young woman who's a student at the college, and it's her job to do catering and to get stuff. So this is like 4 in the afternoon. She asks me, is there anything in particular that you would like before the show? So I said, don't worry about it. Just anything you get is great. I'm trying to make her life easy.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, anything at all? And I said, don't worry about it. Just go get whatever you want. I'm sure it'll be fine. So she leaves, and Robin says to me, I know you're trying to be nice, but you're actually making her job harder because now she has to kind of guess what you might like.
Wow, yeah.
Just say something specific, and then she can grab it and then feel like she's done. So I learned from that, just I'll have a bottle of Evian and
So you don't have a writer where it says what you want backstage in between
well,
shows?
now, but the college thing was a little
Right,
bit
sure.
different,
Sure.
So it's weird learning that sometimes when you're trying to be nice, you're not as helpful as you think you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, he's right about that. You make their life easier by telling them, because otherwise they go, I suppose I give him, he doesn't like it.
going up and down aisles. Would he like peanuts? Would he like some
They
Oreos?
just show up with a block of cheese.
What if she comes back with the oddest
think
things?
you'd like this,
I brought
Mr.
you a
Regan."
turnip
Liverwurst,
and some liverwurst,
boar's head cheese.
a bottle of carrot juice.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm winging it. I'm doing the best I can here.
yeah.
Raw meat. I don't know if you're on a raw meat diet.
Yeah, I got you a pair of socks.
Yeah, pork tartare.
Mark, you want to plug some stuff?
No, he's not. I'm BrianRegan.com. Go there and you
He
won't.
plugs that too?
Yeah,
Yeah,
all the time. You'll never see any of my gigs.
I always knew this
I don't
moment
want
would
an
come and
audience.
it was going to be awkward, but here we are.
I don't want an audience. I just want him to have an audience.
Well, go check out Mark's book. He's got a great book.
I Kill True Stories of the Road and Why Not Lessons on Comedy, Courage, and Chutzpah.
And I've got some autobiographical comic books that I put out at fairenoughcomic.com. And I'm on Instagram and Twitter, and so is the show. We Think It's Funny is on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. I guess not Twitter anymore. It's X, YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff. And we think it's funny.com. Tune in next time for another great episode. Thank you, Brian. And
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you guys next time. Tell everyone you know about the show. Bye-bye.
Bye. Woo!
All right.
That was terrific.
That was fun.
Thank you.
So much.